Okay, good evening to all. Can all hear me, Pute? Can all hear me properly? Dishans, good evening, Pute. Good evening, Petio. Adisha, Amir. Who else? Dishans, Oshani, Duniti, Bibu. Good evening. So today we are moving to the seventh session. Seventh session of the right. Give me a minute. There are two students in the waiting room. Right. Pute, today we are starting the seventh session of the eighth competency. So in the last few weeks, if you can remember, you worked really hard. I can see that. Some of you have done the homework and they have sent me the answers for corrections, right? Puta, it shows your commitment. So I can remember the additions, Duniti, right? On the very first day, they have done with the homework and they are sending me the information, the questions for corrections. So once again, let me remind you in the theory class, I told you this. I am providing the formats, not for anything, Pradhan, because I want to see correct order, right? In your tutorials, right? Correct order. I mean the formats, right? With the formats argument, what I do is today just to complete the formats. But once again, let me put this note, right? For exams, right? None of the formats will be available. You have to memorize all these formats. Right? So you should know how to run the cash book, simple cash book, and the cash book with discount columns. Now I'm introducing you with another prime entry book, right? Petty cash book. Okay. So before I start the presentation, right? Let me give you a very important note here. When I was introducing the prime entry books, I told you there are prime entry books with a dual role. We have prime entry books with a dual role. I told you out of the prime entry books that we discussed in O-level syllabus, we have a dual role for the cash book. Right? It means, right, the cash book is acting as a prime entry book as well as a ledger account. Right? So it is common to the simple cash book with and as well as cash book with discount columns. And the next is Puta, right? The prime entry book that we are starting today. That is petty cash book. Petty cash book. Okay. This prime entry book is also acting as a prime entry book and as well as a ledger account. Okay. And finally, right, our next lesson, that is bank account. Okay. Bank account. Even this one is acting as a dual role. That means bank account is acting as a prime entry book as well as a ledger account. Okay, it is for your note. Now, please take out the hard copies, right? As we start the seventh session of the eighth competency. Okay, I'm ready with a very beautiful presentation today also. My lesson presentation, right? Let me share it. Right. It is petty cash book. This is a part of the seventh competency, right? Seventh competency. Now, Pata, I'm going to give you a list of payments. List of payments, right? Today, have a close look at this idea. I'm going to name a few payments, but I think you know that normally we record all the payments in the cash book. No? Now I'm going to give you a list of payments, right, which are recorded in, right, which are paid in cash. First one, cash purchases 60,000. Second is paid 45,000 to creditors, another payment. But it means there is a cash outflow. Next is Puta, purchases of furniture 80,000, another payment. Moving out. Next is Puta, paid salaries rupees 50,000, another payment made in cash. Okay, and then look at these. Now all these are payments. Look at this one. Purchase stationery rupees 120. Then paid for traveling rupees 240. Are these makeup payment? Yes, yes. Even these two expenses are paid in cash. What about this one? Postage rupees 80. Postage 80 rupees. And the next is Puta, purchased tea and sugar rupees 360 rupees. And I'm going to do another one here. Purchased pens 180. My question is this. Look at my question. Okay. Right? Can we record all these payments in the cash book? What is your opinion? Can we record all these payments in the cash book? Lamai. Yes or no? Duniti says no. Dishan says no. But the answer is right. But the answer is a big yes. We can record if you want. We can record. Why? All these are payments, right? We can record. If we want, we can record. But we have a problem. And the problem is this, right? Look at the values of these particular right values. This is rupees 60,000. This is rupees 45,000. And this is rupees 80,000. And this is rupees 50,000. Okay. From the material ones, these are right, high values. But look at these, payments. Even these are payments, but look at the size of it. It is 120, 240, 80 rupees, 360 rupees, 180. Lamai, don't ever think that we can't record them in the cash. We can record. But the problem is, if we record these things in, if we record these values in the cash book, right, the cash book is going to be inadequate. Cash book is going to be more complicated. We can record. If you want, any payment can be recorded. But the problem is like this. If you record every single payment, right, without considering the size of it in the cash book becomes complicated. Cash book becomes complicated. Therefore, what we should do now? We have to record, right, these values in one place, and right, they these values in another place, right? Smaller values. So this is why we are introducing the petty cash book. Are we clear? So remember, the first thing is every payment can record in the cash book. But when you record everything in there, the cash book becomes complicated, right? To remove that particular difficulty, we record the small payments separately. And this is what I need to tell you today. That is, these payments or big payments are recorded in the cash book, while the small size payments are recorded in the petty cash book. Harida, Puta, do you know this is one of the important prime entry books, right? This is one of the important prime entry books that a business is updating. Okay, great. Now let's move to the next slide. It says, in every business, there might be a lot of small expenses, namely postage, printing, stationery, refreshments, and transportation. Recording all these expenses in the cash book will be a boring job, and the head cashier has to consume a lot of time, and moreover, it will make the cash book bulky. So highlight these things, right? Highlight all these things, right? It might be a boring job. Okay, highlight it. And his head cashier has to consume a lot of time, right? Lot of time. And moreover, it will make the cash book bulky. Okay. Are we clear? Great. And then it says another thing. And that is the obvious character of these expenses is that they are repetitive. Remember, repetitive right? They are repetitive. Repetitive. Highlight that. For this reason, a petty cashier may be appointed to record these small, repetitive nature transactions. We are appointing another responsible person called, right, petty cashier. Okay. Now, what is his responsibility? To handle such transactions. And most importantly, he is working under the head cashier, under the supervision of the head cashier. Right? Now, look at head cashier is the person who provides money, who advances money in the beginning of every month, quarter, to make petty cash expenses. The money is given by the main cashier. It is something like this. Let's say we both, you and me, are working in the same business. You are the head cashier and I am the petty cashier. Right? I am working right under your supervision. In the beginning of every month, you hand me over a fixed amount of money to spend on the petty cash. It is something like this. Every day your father gives you money, to most of you. They give you money, right? So why is given that? To spend on your day-to-day expenses. So likewise, every month, the main cashier is handing over a fixed amount of money to the petty cashier. And look at the next point. It says, at the end of every month or quarter, the petty cashier submits statements of expenses incurred by him and gets fresh advance. Okay, at the end of the day, right? Your father has given you 100 rupees. So at the end of the day, right, you have only 30. That means you have spent 70, right? So in the next day, your father again gives you 70 rupees Now the balance is again 100. That is the simple way of understanding the petty cash payment, petty cash book. Okay, so let's move to the presentation again. A presentation again, right? Today, what is petty cash book? Puta, it is a prime entry book and also the ledger account. Highlight this, Puta. Highlight karagan. Highlight karagan. It is a prime entry book and also the ledger account, which is used to record the small payments of cash. Okay. And then the person who operates the petty cash book is called as the petty cashier. I think I explained that. Petty cashier. Right? Once again, I told you that in the beginning also, petty cash book has a dual role. What is that, Puta? What is the dual role? Petty cash book acting as a prime entry book as well as a ledger account. Right. I'm moving to the next one. Okay. Right. I'm moving to the next one. Impressed system. In the morning, your father gives you 100 rupees. Right. At the end of the day, you submit the payments. You're telling your father, Tata, I have spent 70 rupees for my payments. So the next day also, he has to maintain, right? He has to restore the balance up to 100. Now, at this moment, you have 30 rupees in your hand. So your father is obliged to pay you, just give you 70 rupees only. Now, 30 plus 70 is, again, it is 100. So let me explain it like this way. Let's say she's the head cashier and this is the petty cashier. Right? And then a fixed sum of money is given to the petty cashier in the beginning of every month. Then what does the petty cashier do? Right? He spends, right? He spends the receipt of petty cash to settle the petty cash payments. Right? He spends this particular money to settle the petty cash payments. Right? And he's using a source document. We are discussing about that later. And he records them. And at the end of the day, end of the month, right? This particular petty cashier is informing the main cashier, head cashier, right? That this amount has been sent. I need a reimbursement. What is it? Reimburse. Right? Reimbursement means, Puta, receiving the cash that has been sent during the period. This is what you mean by the petty cash reimburse or petty cash interest. Let me take you to the tutorial. The most scientific method, right? The most scientific method, right, of maintaining the petty cash so far introduced into the practice is the impressed system. Impressed system. Under this system, a fixed sum of money is given to the petty cashier to cover the petty cash expenses for the month or for the period of accounting. A fixed sum of money is provided. And at the end of a month or a period, accounting the petty cashier, right? The petty cashier submits his statement. Petty cashier submit his statement, right, of petty cash expenses to the chief cashier. At the end of every month, this particular petty cashier submits his statements of petty cash expenses. Okay. Now I'm taking you to another part, right? That is, right? The chief cashier on the receipt of such statement refunds to the petty cashier the exact amount spent. Right? In your case, 70 rupees will be given by your father, right? By him during the month, thus making the petty cash interest for the next month the same as it was in the beginning of the current month. In the morning, right, today morning, you had 100 rupees. Now you have only 30 rupees as you have spent 70. So your father is giving just 70 rupees to restore that particular amount. This is what you mean by reimbursement of petty cash interest. Reimbursement. Okay, good. Let's write down the meanings of these. Right? Give me a minute. Define petty cash expenses. What is petty cash expenses? Right? Give me a minute. Sorry, petty cash reimbursement. And petty cash interest. Sorry, yeah, petty cash interest. Petty cash interest. Interest is the amount given by the main cashier to the petty cashier to spend on petty cash payments during an accounting period. Here we have the description of or introduction of petty cash interest. Petty cash interest is the amount given by the main cashier to the petty cashier to spend on petty cash payments during an accounting period. Okay. The next one, reimbursement. What do you mean by reimbursement of petty cash interest? Reimbursement. Okay. Reimbursement of petty cash interest means, right, means providing or restoring the amount of petty cash, right? Restoring the amount of petty cash spent by petty cashier, right? Spent by the petty cashier by the main cashier at the end of an accounting period. Reimbursement of petty cash interest means restoring the amount of petty cash spent by the petty cashier by the main cashier at the end of an accounting period. This is how you define, right? This is how you define the petty cash reimbursement. Okay. Now, let me show you, right? I'm taking you to the Next slide. Next slide is among the you know. Impressed system. Let's say that we have received rupees 5,000 as the interest. And then during the month of May, the business has spent rupees 4,200 on petty cash. Who can tell me the balance as at 31st of May? In the petty cash book, how much is available as the balance? As at 31st of May, can you tell me? How much is the balance? Yes, yes. The balance is now, the interest is 5,000. Opening interest is 5,000 and the petty cash has spent, yes, Pute, very good, Amir, very good, 4,200. Now, with the petty cashier, there is a balance of 800. There is a balance of 800. So, for the next month, this balance has to be reimbursed. Who can tell me what is the amount to be reimbursed? What is the value to be reimbursed? Can someone tell me? How much is it? Exactly. And additions 800 800 reimbursement in any. It means this 800 has to be converted into 5,000 again. Therefore, the reimbursement of petty cash is going to be 4,200. Now the interest is again 5,000. Now, right, this is what you mean by interest and reimbursement of petty cash interest. Right. Now I'm going to show you the format of the petty cash book. Format of the petty cash book. Balagannako. Men make up me format. Receipts. Then we have the ledger folio, right? Date. Then the description, voucher number, payments. Then we have analysis columns. The payments have to be analyzed, right? There may be different headings. I'm using a few here. Stationery, postage, traveling, ledger. You have to behave according to the question. And finally, it is again ended up with the ledger folio. Just 30 seconds. Hurry up. 30 seconds only. Hurry. Right. So, let me take you to the tutorial again. On the format. I told you that the petty cash book has a dual role. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සලකනවා මෙන්න මේ ටික debit side කියලා. Debit side. Debit side. Okay. And we consider, right, these things as the credit side. Okay. Then these two are common to both the sides, debit, credit. It is common to both the sides. Date, description. Okay, good. Right. පුතා තව පොඩි දෙයක් වුණා මෙතන ලියාගන්න. right වැදගත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Related with the petty cash book. Related with the petty cash book, right? We don't have many receipts. We have only a single receipt. Okay, මේක ලියාගන්නකෝ. Right? The only receipt මෙතන හරි ගත්තම හොයරගෙනක ලියාගන්න. Right? The only receipt of the petty cash book is the only receipt is the petty cash book is the imprest received from the main cashier. Right? Imprest received from the main cashier. That is the only receipt we can recognize in the petty cash book. Although we have different types of payments, we have only one receipt. There are no other receipts. But in the cash book, can you remember? We had sales, additional capital introduced, commissions, bank loans. But in the petty cash book, there will be a single receipt, that is the cash receipt from the main cashier. Right. Now, let's write down a few double entries. Now, the petty cash interest received and reimbursement is made. Today, double entry goes like this. Whenever, right, the owner has received the petty cash interest or reimbursement, double entry is this. This is the double entry. Petty cash book debit, petty cash book debit. We write the amount in here, right? Debit when right? Debit, and then the credit entry is cash book or cash account credit. Cash account credit. හරිද? මම පොඩි ටැග් එකක් දෙනවා. මොකක්ද දන්නවද? කාඩ් හරි කියන්න පුළුවන් නම්, right? To record this transaction, what we use, හොඳට කල්පනා කරන්න, right? මම මෙහෙමත් කියලින්නම්කෝ. To record the petty cash expenses, we use, right? මම මෙතන මෙහෙම ලියලා දෙන්නම්. We use, right? Petty cash voucher as the source document, right? What is it? To record the petty cash payments. Then my question is to record this one. It means what is it for the collection of petty cash interest or the reimbursement? What is the source document? Think. What is the source document? එහෙම එකක් නෑ revisions. එහෙම source document මම කියලා දුන්නේ නෑ. දුන්නේ වැරදි. What is the source document? I told you in the petty cash book we have only one receipt. That is petty cash voucher. So you have no way to record. There is no source document to record, right? The receipt of the petty cash, right? In the petty cash book. But you can use another one. මම මෙහෙම කියලා දෙන්න. මේ අහන්නකො මේ. right. මම ඒක අයින් කරන්න පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. මම ඔයාලට කියවන්නේ මෙහෙම දෙයක්. This is a payment in the petty cash book. Sorry, payment to the cash book. It is debited to the petty cash book and credited to the cash book. That means this is a payment to the cash book. Then what has to be the source document? What is the source document to record the petty cash interest? What is it? Now, where we record the payments. Anna hari duniti. Dan terunada. The source document to record the reimbursement or interest is source document is payment voucher. Very good. Right? The importance of speedy thinking. Okay, that is something that everybody can develop, right? But if you have that already, remember that you have a gift. Others, you also can receive it. Think. Concentration, dedication, that is what gives you this particular right gift. Okay, great. Duruti, very good. Never liyaga. Okay, and then Pute, when the relevant expenses are posted to the ledger, we are using this double entry, transfer entry. Relevant expense account debit, relevant expense account debit, relevant expense account debit, and petty cash book. Petty cash book credit. Petty cash book credit. Another, once again, children, source document to record the petty cash interest is the payment voucher, and the petty cash expenses is right the petty cash voucher. Right. I'm taking you to the activities. Petty cash book has a dual role. Do you agree with this statement? Explain. Right. Right. Since the petty cash book is acting as a prime entry book as well as a ledger account. It is right. It has a dual role, right, in account. It has a dual role in accounting, right? This is the answer. Since the petty cash book is acting as a prime entry book as well as a ledger account, right? It has a dual role in accounting. What is the source document used in preparing the petty cash book? What are the source documents? What are the source documents? Okay. What are the source documents? Right? That is petty cash voucher. Petty cash voucher. Petty cash voucher. Then, right, it is the main source document. Then, payment voucher is also used. Payment voucher is also used. හොඳට පාඩම් කරගන්න ඕන පැටවු ටික හරියද? දැන් විභාග ළඟ එනවා සම ගොඩක් ඉස්කෝලවල right? මම හිතන්නේ ගොඩක් ඒවා cover කරන්නේ only the first 3 lessons most probably, right? Not even the first 3 lessons, just a part of the 3rd lesson, right? I think in some schools they have advanced, right? So anyway, you want to get the good marks for the paper, right? Good marks for the paper. Okay, great. Hi. Right. Let's move to the next question now. දැන් බලන්න උත්තර දෙන්න බලන්න. Randunu traders started a business to operate a cash book, petty cash book on 1st of May 2022. The main cashier approved a petty cash impressed valued 4,000. At the end of the month, the petty cashier has reimbursed the vouchers valued 3,300. The first question, right? What is the petty cash impressed? Impressed rupees 3,000. Sorry, rupees 4,000. Sorry, yeah, 4,000. Impressed is 4,000. Yes, Dishans, very good. 4,000. And then, what is the petty cash payments for the month of May? Rupees 3,300. Very good. Very good. Okay. Right. We have another question. Third one. What is the balance of the petty cash book as at 31st May? Like the 4,000. We had 4,000. Spent 3,300. What is the balance of the petty cash impressed? Yes, it is just 700 rupees. 700 rupees. What happens to be the amount of petty cash reimbursement? Yes, exact amount that you have spent, 3,300. Lazy This is a very important prime entry book when it comes to a business, right? Otherwise, someone can say, "Oh, this is a very small one." No, if you don't have it, your cash book is going to be bulky and complicated. Hurry. Let's move to the next one. Answer question number 21. 21 were to complete the missing information of Yomal traders regarding the petty cash interest. Think and tell me what has to be the value here. The balance is 7,500. So at the end of the first month, there is only 1,400 as the balance. My question is, what has to be the petty cash payments for January? What has to be the petty cash payments for January? Amaru Ditan. We had 7,500. Now you don't, this time I have not given you the payment, but you know the balance. Then how much is the payments? Payment here 6,100. Working at the it is, yes, Puta, it is 6,100 rupees. 6,100. Then, right, how much we have to reimburse? To the same amount, 6,100. Then, after this reimbursement, balance is again made balance right, as 7,500. Right, right? It is obtained like this: 1,400 plus 6,900 equals to 7,500. Again, out of this 7,500, we are spending 6,900. Now we have another question. What is the balance of the petty cash now? What is the balance of the petty cash? 7,500 වලින් අපි වියදම් කරනවා 6,900. How much is the balance? It is 600 rupees. Hey, 7,500, yes pute, minus 6,900. The balance is 600 rupees. Then how much we have to reimburse? Kya reimbursement on it? Again, 6,900 to be reimbursed. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? මම ආයෙ දලා පෙන්නන්නම්. හොඳට බලන්න පුතා. හොඳට බලන්න ඉන්න. Right? So after this reimbursement, after the reimbursement, right, we have, right, rupees 7,500 as the interest. Again as the interest. 7,500. හරිද? ඔන්නෝම ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. Today, once again, I'm inviting you to watch the recording if you like. Okay, good. Now we are moving to, right, the next question. Apila question eකට යනවාද? Right. That is to prepare the petty cash book using these information. හරිද? බලන්න මම මේක රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න ලස්සන. හරිද? පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. Right. Even